The United States prides itself on living in a wonderful lifestyle, with less than 15% of the population living below the poverty line. But just south across the border, Mexico is still developing as a country, with over 50% of its population below the poverty line. Why is it that these two countries, so geographically close to each other, have economies growing at totally different rates? We believe that the social value of education and the government are some of the biggest determinants of its economic growth.
Geographic location and resources can also greatly affect whether or not a country can emerge as a strong economic power. Historically, countries could not remain politically or economically powerful without an advantage in either a geographic location or in a proper balance of resources that encourages societal growth. Mexico's location, with two coastlines, with the center arid and free of sustainable fresh water, required people to primarily live on the coast. The problem with the geographic location is that throughout history, the plundering of coastal cities left them significantly less wealthy. The emerging country dealt with continuous attack, which forced the Mexican government to strain its economy toward military defense production. The lack of irrigation in central Mexico caused agriculture to be more expensive than other competing nations, making it harder to compete. This financial disadvantage left Mexico an undesirable trading partner, at least in comparison to the other countries.
The knowledge and skills of workers in the labor force is a key factor in determining economic growth. Economies with a significant supply of skilled labor brought on through school education, as well as training, are often able to capitalize on this through the development of more value-added industries. In the United States, we tend to develop technology and people tend to have jobs easier because of their skills and experiences received through education. In Mexico, however, they aren't developing as much and as fast as the United States because their school life expectancy is only 13 years, whereas in the U.S., the school life expectancy is 17 years. School life expectancy in countries are a result of the social value on it. Here in the United States, all students are required to go to school. It is very common for students to attend a college or university to pursue a career. In Mexico, education isn't valued enough. Though 90% of students attend a primary school, only 62% attend a secondary school, which would be equivalent to a high school here in the U.S. And after that, only a quarter would pursue a higher education. A common reason for this education system in Mexico is the infrastructure throughout rural schools. The Mexican government is criticized for paying the teachers too much and not investing enough in their students. Here in the United States, students are encouraged to go to school, and it is an investment for not only the students receiving an education, but for what they will contribute to the economy and society once they have pursued their careers. In Mexico, on the other hand, education is not essential to making a basic living. Lack of motivation is also an issue that contributes to the Mexican economy. In Mexico, it is relatively easy to start a business. When I visited, there were small businesses, most of them convenience stores, on every single block. So it got me thinking about how if there is business freedom and almost anyone can easily start a business, why is competition not motivating each business to strive to be better? Well, a common misconception about business freedom is that if you take away all or most laws and government involvement, that this will encourage more businesses to start up, thus giving business owners more incentive to work harder to succeed in such a competitive economy. So looking at economies like Hong Kong and Singapore, they have very little government involvement and have incredibly high GDP per capita. However, these are trading hubs, and the reason this works successfully with these economies is because of their exclusivity and because they are protected by a third party rather than by themselves. These microeconomies or city-states are not scalable, meaning that if you had this economy in a country as big as China, it would totally fall apart. In the example of Mexico, the corrupt government is a big determinant of why there is little motivation to be better.
The legal system in Mexico is much less reliable this hurts incentive to succeed because personal property is not protected, as, let's say, countries with common law, as opposed to Mexico's civil law. For example, one person could come up with a good idea, work really hard, establish their business, and another person could copy that business plan to the letter and rely on the slow response of the legal system to ensure that they aren't prosecuted. The future of the second person matters little. What is significant is the loss of revenue to the original entrepreneur, who likely has initial design and production costs associated with perfecting a product that will eventually lose credit for. What's the point in working hard and investing money for nothing?